Hey guys, it's Webb back again with another album review. Now, for the people that know me and watch this what and watch myself, this is weird because this is a review for a band that I don't think any of you have ever heard me speak about before. That's because it's a band that I sort of heard about, then forgot about, then I came across again quite recently, thanks to some rather bizarre YouTube recommendations. But anyway, let's move on. The band is the band is a band called Abandon All Ships. They're a Canadian electronicore band. Now, before I go any further, I just want to say electronicore might just be the worst name for a genre I think I've ever heard. It's taken the title away from EDM, which is electronic dance music, which is just too vague. But that just sounds absolutely ridiculous. And then you think, how could anything actually sound like that? But then these guys showed up. The album I'll be reviewing, since their most recent isn't out yet in the UK, I don't believe. The album I'll be reviewing is their second album, which was released in 2012, called Infamous. Having listened to it, I always thought Asking Alexandria was bland and as generic as a metalcore band could get. Boy, I was wrong. Now, to explain why, I need to look at now to understand why. I think we need to look at the production first, and this is where half the problem lie. It's not the same problem as the falling. It's not the same problem as the falling in reverse album that I reviewed for my last review. The problem is that there's no diversity in the production from the guitars to the vocals to the to even the kind of electronic elements. It feels as if everything is fighting for space, and as a result, the whole mix sounds messy and is very messy is the word I would use for it. And also, this is just a nitpick, but this is just a nitpick about the style. But I'm not a fan of how the drummer's chosen to tune his drum kit. Again, very nitpicky. Uh, and also adding on to that, another problem, another massive problem I have with this album is the vocals. Both of which, because the band features both a clean vocalist and a harsh vocalist, as seems to be the norm in this kind of modern post-hardcore slash metalcore style. The problem, the pro- my problem is twofold. One, the overuse of auto tune in the clean vocals. It's just, if you can't sing, why bloody bother? Seriously, it really gets my goat when someone uses that much auto tune. I mean, the tone of his voice is kind of neither here nor it's a bit of a nothing, but that's not the biggest issue. The fact is, he drugged in so much auto tune, you get the impression that he can't sing at all. So really, the question is, if you can't sing, why bother singing? And then there's the harsher vocals. Now, on their first album, they were at least on with Bantam's album, the harsh vocals were at least semi-competent. They got some get some decent tones and word pronunciation was solid. In this case, it's just bland and it's at a substandard. I mean, hell, even asking Alexandria for all their blandness and genericness and how I think they're terrible, they at least have competent harsh vocals. It's an essential element to this style of music. If you're going to go down a harsh vocal route, you should have a vocalist that should at least be able to do it properly, and I don't think this guy can. It absolutely, it's the word is subpar. I can't think of another way to describe it properly. And then there's the songs. They are 99% they just seem aimless to me. Very, 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 very stale as well. They seem to pander and look in particular at a mix of at that kind of lowest common denominator mix of modern dance music. So you kind of your dubsteppy kind of excessive electronics and simple breakdown obsessed modern metalcore, is which is which is not the best thing of either style. It just makes it a bit oi. It just as I said, it just appeals to it feels like it's appealing to the lowest common denominator of both styles, and that really irks me because there's so much more musically, there's so much more sonically to deliver from both styles. To be honest, I think there's only one good song on this album. Well, sort of good. It's a track called "Made of Gold." It's almost a decent song. I say almost. The instrumentals, the progressions are, while they're generic, they're nice, and the chorus, while still dripping in auto tune, has a nice melodic hook to it. In a way, the instrumentals, I guess, because of the key because of the key the song is in, and the way the and particularly how the synths almost sound a bit, almost have hints of trance about them. It almost reminds me of stuff from the first from the from the debut Enter Shikari album. Only much. Yes, it's yes, it's nowhere near as interesting as that was, but that's what's brought to mind when I listen to this. But what ruins this song for me is the lyrics. Just generic kind of anti-establishment style, basically saying I'm different, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that differently to how you did it, and it's just I don't. There's so much more you can do with lyrics than that, even when you're in a band of already as stylized as this one seems to be. There's so much more you could do lyrically with any of this crap. Like I said, this song has potential. It's almost a commendable. It's almost a commendable effort, but these lyrics ruin it. And I find that commendable effort I believe again comes mainly from the sort of guitar-based drum elements. There is potential there for there to have something good if unoriginal. They seem to be too reliant on simple content and simple guitar parts, and that's fine. Not every song in the world has to be hugely complicated. However, I think they could do. I think if they want to be more expressive of the musical style they're trying to emulate, then I believe that they could perhaps experiment with a few more complicated parts, a few more complicated guitar parts, because in certain circles, that's what's considered to be more expressive in this genre, and I'm inclined to agree with that. It's a frustrating album to review this because this band is so, in my opinion, almost irredeemably bad. But I'm not going to give this album as low a score as I gave the Falling in Reverse album. This album I'm going to give a 3 out of 10 as opposed to a 2 out of 5 because but unfortunately I think it's only down to the song I was talking about, Made of Gold. It's a sign of hope that song has some song for that band that song has some shows some redeeming qualities, and you just hope for the sake of not only yourself as a listener, but the band's actual fans, which I don't consider myself one of. You'd hope that their standards, you'd hope that they are able to show more higher standards for the music that they're listening to. Am I being too hopeful? Am I being too harsh on the band? let me know in the comments. And, let, let, let me know in the comments or on my Twitter, which I shall post in the description of the video. Right, thanks for listening, and I'm not sure uh, when I'll see you next, but I do have lots of good video ideas to show you guys. Right, thanks, take care.